Telling my sister wives that I'm leaving. This isn't going to be a surprise.
Valentine's Day is typically seen as a day of love, romantic gestures, heartfelt expressions, and unforgettable moments shared between two people. But for Kody Brown and his 4 wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, the celebration of love is far more complicated. What does romance look like in a polygamous family? How do you balance the needs of each wife while maintaining peace in a home filled with love, rivalry, and different expectations? In this special episode, we're diving deep into the Valentine's Day experience of Kody and his wives, exploring the dynamics that define their love and relationships. From the gifts they give each other to the jealousy and rivalry that sometimes bubbles beneath the surface, this is not your average Valentine's celebration. It's a tale of multiple loves, unspoken tensions, and the complexities that come with a life chosen out of a strong belief in plural marriage. As we begin our journey through the hearts of the Brown family, it's important to understand the foundation of their unique love story. Kody Brown, the head of the household, is a man with many roles: husband, father, provider, and, on Valentine's Day, the object of affection for 4 women. Each wife brings a different perspective on what love should look like and how it's celebrated. But despite the love they share, Valentine's Day is also a time when old feelings resurface, longing for individual attention, moments of doubt, and the reality of sharing a husband with others. Kody's approach to Valentine's Day is far from traditional. In a monogamous relationship, this day of romance might involve flowers, chocolates, and a romantic dinner for 2. But in Kody's world, there are logistics to consider. There's the question of fairness. How does he spread his affection equally? What does he do to ensure that each wife feels special without showing favoritism? It's a delicate balance, and the wives, in their own ways, have become adept at reading between the lines. Their thoughts on the holiday reflect a blend of love, tradition, and the complexities that come with their relationships. Mary's perspective: a love rekindled, but at what cost? Mary has been with Kody the longest. As the first wife, she feels a deep connection to Kody, one that is rooted in years of companionship. But over time, the relationship has shifted. In recent seasons, viewers have seen Mary struggle with feeling emotionally distant from Kody. Valentine's Day, once an exciting occasion for the couple, have evolved into a reminder of the emotional struggles that have defined much of their marriage in recent years. Mary's view on Valentine's Day is layered. On the one hand, she cherishes the romantic moments they've shared, and she loves to receive a thoughtful gesture of love from Kody. But on the other hand, there's an underlying feeling of loss. How does one feel truly cherished when there are 3 other wives also vying for their husband's attention? In the past, Mary would look forward to Valentine's Day as a chance to rekindle the romance with Kody, but in the current reality of their family structure, it often feels like an afterthought. For Mary, this day is bittersweet. It represents the love that she longs for, but it's also a reminder of what she no longer feels. Her journey is one of self-reflection as she continues to navigate the complex layers of her relationship with Kody. Janelle's perspective: the pragmatic Valentine. Janelle, the second wife, takes a more pragmatic approach to Valentine's Day. She understands the logistics of the situation better than anyone else. With Kody splitting his time between his wives, Janelle has learned to manage her expectations when it comes to receiving attention on this romantic day. She's the practical one in the family, balancing her role as both a wife and a mother. For her, Valentine's Day isn't about grand gestures or showy displays of affection. It's about appreciating the small moments, the quiet acknowledgement of love that comes in the form of a simple card or a thoughtful gesture. While Janelle might not expect the lavish displays of affection that some might associate with the holiday, she still wants to feel seen. She wants Kody to recognize her value as his wife, even if that recognition comes in smaller, more subtle ways. For her, the day isn't about being showered with gifts, but about being reminded that her place in Kody's heart is just as important as anyone else's. But even as a pragmatic wife, Janelle can't help but feel the sting of rivalry, especially on a day meant to celebrate love. There's always a part of her that wonders if Kody truly understands how hard it is to divide his attention so many different ways. The balancing act becomes even more apparent on Valentine's Day. Is her love truly equal in his eyes, or is she simply part of the system that keeps everything running? Christine's perspective: seeking the romance she deserves. Christine, the third wife, brings a sense of passion to her relationship with Kody. She has always been open about her desire for romance and the emotional connection she seeks. For Christine, Valentine's Day is more than just a day of love. It's a day to feel truly valued and cherished. Unlike Janelle, who may not expect grand gestures, Christine's love language revolves around affection and intimacy. On Valentine's Day, she longs for moments of tenderness with Kody, a reminder of their deep bond and their shared history. But the reality of being one of 4 wives means that Christine's hopes for a romantic Valentine's Day are often met with the reality of Kody's divided attention. Like Mary, she struggles with jealousy, but her feelings are more openly expressed. Christine is not one to hide her emotions. She wants to feel like she's his priority, even if just for one day. For her, Valentine's Day is about more than just sharing a moment with Kody. It's about the validation of their love.
With 3 other wives in the picture, Christine needs to feel special, not just another woman in the lineup. She's always vocal about her needs, but sometimes it's unclear whether Kody can meet them all, especially when the competition for his attention is so fierce. Robyn's perspective, the newest wife and the power of firsts. Robyn, the youngest wife, brings a new dynamic to the family. As the most recent addition to the family, she still carries the excitement and novelty of being Kody's newest love. For Robyn, Valentine's Day is a chance to bond more closely with Kody and to establish her own traditions within the family. She doesn't have the years of history that Mary, Janelle, and Christine have with Kody, but she brings her own energy to the relationship. Robyn's experience with Valentine's Day is still in the making. She enjoys the moments of tenderness that come with being Kody's newest wife, but she's also aware of the complexities of being in a plural marriage. Robyn, like the other wives, sometimes wrestles with the reality of sharing Kody, but she's also learned to adapt to the ever-evolving nature of their family dynamic. Valentine's Day is a time to celebrate love, but for Kody Brown and his 4 wives, the holiday is a reminder of the delicate balance that defines their family life. While other families may spend the day with just one partner, Kody's family dynamic is far more complicated, and each wife has a unique perspective on what it means to be loved by their shared husband. As we dive deeper into this Valentine's Day special, the challenges of polygamy begin to surface, creating emotional tensions that threaten to unravel the celebration of love. In this part of our series, we focus on the inevitable complications that arise when a polygamous family comes together to celebrate Valentine's Day. For each wife, the day isn't just about receiving gifts and affection from Kody. It's about seeking validation, ensuring their place in his heart, and navigating the insecurities that naturally come with sharing the man they love with other women. As the holiday approaches, Kody must face the reality of the expectations his wives have for him and the pressure he feels to keep everyone happy. Mary struggles with jealousy, the emotional toll of polygamy. Mary, Kody's first wife, has always been the emotional anchor of the family, but her journey has been far from easy. Over the years, viewers have seen the cracks in her marriage to Kody. While they've had moments of closeness, the emotional distance between them has grown, particularly as Kody's relationships with his other wives have deepened. Mary's Valentine's Day expectations are clouded by a sense of longing, a desire to be seen and valued as Kody's first love. For Mary, the holiday represents more than just romantic love. It's a reminder of what she's lost in her relationship with Kody. While other wives like Christine and Robyn have openly expressed their desires for attention and affection, Mary often keeps her feelings to herself, hiding the pain she feels. On Valentine's Day, the emotional weight of polygamy becomes even more evident. Mary struggles with jealousy, not just because of Kody's affection for the other wives, but because of the sense of neglect she feels. She wants to feel like she's still his number one, the woman he chose first. But the reality of polygamy is that she is no longer the only one. The other wives seem to get more attention, and Kody's affections are often divided by 4 women, not just one. Valentine's Day, a day when couples are supposed to focus on each other, highlights these divides and forces Mary to confront her emotions head-on. Mary tries to stay positive for the sake of the family, but inside she questions whether her love for Kody is still enough. She wonders if Kody still sees her the way he once did, and if she will ever feel the same level of priority she once held. As Kody prepares for Valentine's Day, Mary's vulnerability becomes even more evident, and she wrestles with the idea of being second in Kody's life. Janelle's self-sufficiency, love in a plural family. Janelle, the second wife, has always been the practical and self-sufficient member of the Brown family. She doesn't expect grand gestures or emotional declarations, but that doesn't mean she doesn't crave affection. For Janelle, Valentine's Day is a chance to reflect on her own growth and strength. She has always been the steady force in Kody's life, his partner, confidant, and mother to many of his children. Her love for Kody is rooted in mutual respect, but on this day, she can't help but feel the weight of being one of 4 wives. While Janelle may not openly play jealousy, the underlying tension in her marriage to Kody is palpable. The love they share is solid, but it is not without its struggles. Kody has a tendency to prioritize the needs of the other wives, especially the newer ones, and Janelle feels it deeply. On Valentine's Day, she finds herself questioning whether Kody fully understands her contribution to the family. It's easy for him to show affection to the newer wives, but Janelle has been with him for years. She wants to feel as important as special as Robyn or Christine, yet she knows she's not always the first to receive his attention. For Janelle, Valentine's Day isn't about seeking the spotlight. It's about being appreciated in the quieter, more subtle ways. She doesn't need the big gestures, but she wants to know that Kody recognizes her role in their family. Janelle often finds herself playing the mediator, calming tensions between the wives, and ensuring the family stays intact. However, this role comes at a cost. She sometimes feels unseen in her own marriage, as though her contributions are taken for granted. Valentine's Day serves as a reminder that despite her deep commitment to Kody and the family, she is still searching for the recognition she deserves. Christine's desire for romance. Can she ever be the priority? Christine, the third wife, is more vocal about her needs than the others. She has always sought romance in her relationship with Kody, wanting to feel like the center of his world. For Christine, Valentine's Day is a symbol of love and passion. It's her opportunity to rekindle the romance with Kody and prove that their love is still strong. But in the world of polygamy, romance is hard to come by, and Valentine's Day only amplifies her feelings of insecurity. As Kody's third wife, Christine is often caught in a delicate balancing act. While Kody may shower her with affection at times, she knows that his attention is constantly divided among the other wives. For Christine, Valentine's Day is both a celebration and a challenge. It's the one day when she hopes to feel like Kody's first love, even though that role belongs to someone else. Her longing for his full attention sometimes leads to feelings of jealousy and frustration. She can't help but wonder if she will ever truly be Kody's priority, especially as he balances his relationships with the other wives. The emotional toll that polygamy takes on Christine is immense, and Valentine's Day forces her to confront the reality of her situation. She wants to feel cherished, not as one of many wives, but as a woman who is deeply loved by Kody. But in the world of plural marriage, this kind of individualized attention is hard to come by. Christine struggles with the concept of sharing Kody on such an intimate day and yearns for moments of solitude with him. Robyn's newness, finding her place on Valentine's Day. Robyn, the youngest wife, faces different challenges than the other women. As Kody's newest wife, she is still navigating her place in the family. Valentine's Day for Robyn is a blend of excitement and nervousness. She enjoys the attention Kody gives her, but she's also aware of the tensions that exist in the family dynamic. For Robyn, the day is not just about receiving affection, it's about proving herself as an equal part of the family. She knows that Kody has a history with his other wives, and she sometimes feels like an outsider trying to find her footing. While Kody shows her love and affection, Robyn is still trying to understand where she fits into the overall structure of the family. Valentine's Day serves as a reminder that she is the newest addition to the family, and it brings to the surface her uncertainty that comes with being in a plural marriage.
As Valentine's Day approaches, each wife prepares for the celebration in her own way, anticipating Kody's gestures of love and affection. For the wives of Kody Brown, Valentine's Day is more than just a romantic occasion. It's a litmus test for their relationships, a moment when their connection with Kody is on display for all to see. What kind of gifts will Kody give? Will they be thoughtful and personalized, or will they feel impersonal and divided? And most importantly, will the wives feel seen, valued, and loved for who they are? In this part of our Valentine's Day special, we explore the significance of gifts, gestures, and the emotional undercurrents that define each interaction. The way Kody expresses his affection on Valentine's Day speaks volumes about the state of his relationships with each wife. While some wives appreciate small, meaningful tokens of love, others seek grand gestures to affirm their place in Kody's heart. Valentine's Day is a day of symbolic gestures, but within a polygamous family, those gestures often come with complicated feelings. How does Kody manage to make each wife feel special without giving the impression of favoritism? And how do the wives interpret Kody's actions? For them, the day isn't just about the physical gifts they receive, it's about the emotional validation that comes with those gifts. Mary's gift of nostalgia, a moment of reconnection. Mary's relationship with Kody is complex, and Valentine's Day is a day when her longing for connection becomes particularly intense. She's been with Kody the longest, and in many ways, she sees herself as his first and most important love. However, the reality of polygamy has made her feel distant from him emotionally, especially after the breakdown of their intimate relationship. This year, Mary hopes that Kody will give her a gesture that reflects their past, a reminder of the love they once shared. Mary is not one to ask for grand gestures, but she yearns for a gift that speaks to their shared history, perhaps a piece of jewelry that reminds her of their early years together, or a heartfelt letter expressing the deep bond they once had. Kody knows that Mary values sentiment over extravagance, so he begins thinking of ways to honor their past while also acknowledging the distance that has grown between them. But as Valentine's Day unfolds, Kody's attempt to rekindle the romance with Mary falls short. The gift he gives, though thoughtful, feels like a token rather than a rekindling of the deep emotional connection they once shared. Mary struggles with her feelings of disappointment, wondering if Kody truly sees her as the woman who once held his heart, or if she's simply another wife vying for attention in a system that divides love into pieces. For Mary, the day is filled with nostalgia for what could have been. She reflects on their past and wishes that their love could be as strong as it once was. But despite the challenges, she continues to hold on to the hope that they can find their way back to each other. Janelle's practical gift, comfort over romance. Janelle has never been one to demand attention on Valentine's Day. She is the pragmatic wife, the one who finds comfort and practicality rather than romance. For her, the most meaningful gift Kody can give is something that acknowledges their life together, something that shows he appreciates her for who she is, not just as one of his wives. This year, Janelle's expectations are simple. She doesn't need a lavish gift or an extravagant display of love. What she wants from Kody is a sign that he recognizes her contributions to the family and values her as a partner. Whether it's a thoughtful gesture like a favorite meal or a moment of quiet reflection together, Janelle longs for a connection that's grounded in respect and mutual appreciation. However, as the day progresses, Janelle realizes that Kody's gift, while practical, feels a bit impersonal. A simple token like a box of chocolates or a basic card doesn't meet her emotional needs. While she's not one to show her disappointment outwardly, she feels a subtle sting, an undercurrent of frustration that her deep commitment to the family isn't fully recognized by Kody on this special day. Janelle has always been the one to keep things together, managing the logistics of family life while supporting her husband and children. On Valentine's Day, she simply wants a moment to feel truly valued. While Kody's gestures are never extravagant, she hopes that they will reflect the depth of her contributions to the family, both emotionally and practically. Christine's romantic expectations, the desire for a grand gesture. For Christine, Valentine's Day is all about romance. She longs for Kody to show her that she is still his priority, the woman he wants to shower with affection.
After years of being part of a polygamous family, Christine's romantic desires are a mix of longing and frustration. She wants Kody to make her feel special, to prioritize her needs, and to reaffirm their connection on a day meant for love. Christine has high hopes for Valentine's Day, and she wants Kody to go above and beyond this year. A meaningful gift, an intimate dinner, and a few moments of undivided attention are exactly what she craves. But as the day unfolds, Christine begins to feel a familiar sense of disappointment. While Kody does give her a gift, it's not the grand gesture she had imagined. Instead, it's a thoughtful yet simple token of his affection. Although the gift is sincere, it doesn't quite hit the mark for Christine. She wonders if Kody truly understands how much she craves his love, especially on a day when the world is celebrating romance. For Christine, the lack of a grand gesture leaves her feeling more isolated than ever. While she appreciates the gift, it doesn't seem to match the emotional depth she had hoped for. As the day progresses, she reflects on her role within the family and whether her needs for romance and affection will ever be fully met. Robyn's first Valentine's Day, the promise of new beginnings. As the newest wife, Robyn's experience with Valentine's Day is filled with both excitement and nervousness. This is her first Valentine's Day as part of the Brown family, and she's unsure of how to navigate the expectations and dynamics that come with being the newest addition to Kody's family. She hopes that Kody will give her something that signifies her importance in the family, but she's also conscious of not overshadowing the other wives' expectations. After all, she is still trying to find her place in a family where roles are already established, and Valentine's Day is a reminder of the intricacies of polygamy. Robyn is still learning how to balance her desire for Kody's affection with the need to respect the boundaries and dynamics that come with being one of 4 wives. In many ways, Robyn's experience with Valentine's Day is a mix of hope and uncertainty. She wants to feel special, but she's also aware that Kody's attention is divided. Her gift from Kody, though meaningful, is not the grand gesture she had secretly hoped for. Instead, it's a simple token of his love, a reminder that while she is new to the family, she is still an important part of their lives. Valentine's Day in the Brown family is a day for celebration, but it also comes with its fair share of emotional challenges. For each wife, the day represents an opportunity to feel loved and appreciated by Kody. But despite his efforts to balance his relationships, the reality of polygamy means that one wife may feel neglected, overlooked, or even resentful. In this part of our special Valentine's Day exploration, we dive deeper into the emotional fallout that follows Kody's attempts to make each wife feel special. While Kody may try his best to spread love evenly, the wife's reactions to his gifts, gestures, and affection reveal the underlying tensions in their relationships. The challenge of trying to meet everyone's needs on such a personal holiday only amplifies the sense of rivalry and insecurity that already exists. For some, Valentine's Day highlights the cracks in their relationships with Kody, and the emotional fallout can be difficult to ignore. Mary's quiet resentment, feeling invisible in her own marriage. For Mary, Valentine's Day is a reminder of how far her relationship with Kody has drifted. She is the first wife, yet as the years have passed, she has often found herself feeling like an afterthought. Kody's attention is often directed toward the newer wives, especially Robyn, and Mary's own emotional needs are left unmet. On this Valentine's Day, Mary hopes for a sign of affection that reflects the depth of her bond with Kody, but the reality of their relationship falls short of her expectations. Mary's gift, a small token of affection, feels like just another gesture that fails to capture the complexity of their marriage. It's not that Kody isn't trying, but for Mary, the day is tinged with a sense of resignation. She's tired of hoping for things to change, and the gift he gives her only serves as a reminder that she is no longer the most important person in his life. Her quiet resentment builds, and she begins to question her place in the family. Is she just a figurehead, a reminder of the past? Or is there still room for her to be Kody's partner in the way she once was? Mary doesn't voice her frustrations openly, but she carries the emotional weight of her discontent silently. As the other wives share their Valentine's Day experiences with Kody, she watches from the sidelines, unsure of how much longer she can keep pretending that everything is okay. Janelle's dilemma, appreciated but never prioritized. Janelle, the second wife, has always taken a more pragmatic approach to her relationship with Kody. She doesn't expect grand romantic gestures, but she does want to feel appreciated. On Valentine's Day, she hopes for a small sign that acknowledges her contributions to the family. A thoughtful gesture, a moment of intimacy, or simply some undivided attention would be enough for her. But as the day progresses, Janelle begins to feel the sting of being overlooked. The gift Kody gives her, a simple bouquet of flowers and a card, while sweet, doesn't quite meet her emotional needs. It's not that she doesn't appreciate the gesture, but it feels like Kody's attention is spread too thin. She's never been one to demand attention, but on a day like Valentine's Day, she longs to feel like a priority in his life. The small and personal gifts only reinforce her feeling of being the pragmatic wife, who is always steady and supportive, but never the first one in Kody's heart. Janelle struggles with a mix of gratitude and disappointment. She knows that Kody loves her, but his love often feels more like an obligation than a choice. She wonders if he truly sees her as more than just a partner who helps keep the family running smoothly. Valentine's Day, which should be about celebrating the unique bond they share, ends up feeling like unveiling another of the emotional distance between them. She can't shake the feeling that no matter how hard she tries, she will never be the one Kody prioritizes. Christine's heartache, wanting to feel desired. For Christine, Valentine's Day represents more than just love. It's a chance to feel desired. After years of feeling emotionally distant from Kody, she hopes that this Valentine's Day will be different. She wants Kody to make her feel like the center of his world, even for just one day. But as the holiday progresses, Christine's heartache deepens. Kody's gift to Christine is thoughtful, a piece of jewelry she has admired for some time, but it doesn't come with the emotional depth she had hoped for. Kody's attention is divided, and Christine feels like she's competing for his affection. She longs for more than just a material token. She wants to feel seen, valued, and loved as a woman, not just as one of his wives. Her disappointment is palpable, though she tries not to show it. As she watches Kody interact with the other wives, her heart sinks. She wonders if she will ever be able to hold Kody's full attention, even for a day. On Valentine's Day, when love is supposed to be celebrated, she feels like the emotional gaps between them are only becoming more apparent. The romantic spark she's been searching for seems out of reach, and she questions if her needs will ever be met. Robyn's uneasy position, feeling both loved and insecure. Robyn, the newest wife, faces a unique challenge on Valentine's Day. She is still trying to find her place within the family, and her relationship with Kody is still in the early stages. While Kody showers her with affection, there's an underlying insecurity that lingers. As the newest addition to the family, she sometimes feels like an outsider trying to break through the established bonds between Kody and his other wives. Robyn's Valentine's Day experience is a blend of happiness and uncertainty. While she enjoys Kody's attention, she's also aware of the emotional complexity that comes with being part of a polygamous family. She wants to feel special, but she doesn't want to overshadow the other wives' expectations. After all, she is still trying to find her place in a family where roles are already established, and Valentine's Day is a reminder of the intricacies of polygamy. Robyn is still learning how to balance her desire for Kody's affection with the need to respect the boundaries and dynamics that come with being one of 4 wives. In many ways, Robyn's experience with Valentine's Day is a mix of hope and uncertainty. She wants to feel special, but she's also aware that Kody's attention is divided. She hopes that Kody will give her something that signifies her importance in the family, but she's also aware that while she is new to the family, she is still an important part of their lives. Valentine's Day in the Brown family is a day for celebration.
Valentine's Day is supposed to be a celebration of love, a day where couples come together to affirm their commitment and affection for one another. But for the Brown family, it's a reminder of the complicated dynamics of polygamy. After the gifts, the gestures, and the emotional roller coaster, the aftermath of the day proves to be just as challenging, if not more so. In this part of our Valentine's Day special, we explore the emotional toll the day takes on the wives, and how the family tries to cope with the fallout of unspoken frustrations and unmet expectations. While Kody's intentions are rooted in love, the reality of his divided attention becomes more evident as the day progresses. Each wife is left to process her own feelings, some quietly, some with open frustration. But one thing is clear: Valentine's Day has only magnified the existing tensions and emotional gaps in Kody's relationships with his wives. The aftermath will test the resilience of the family, and it raises important questions about what love means in a plural marriage. Can these feelings of neglect and jealousy be resolved, or will they continue to simmer beneath the surface? Mary's isolation, the quiet struggle of being first. For Mary, the aftermath of Valentine's Day is a period of quiet reflection. As the first wife, she carries the weight of years of history with Kody, but also the burden of feeling emotionally distant from him. She has long struggled with her place in the family, particularly as Kody's relationships with the other wives have deepened over the years. On Valentine's Day, her hopes for emotional connection were dashed, and now she's left grappling with the reality of feeling invisible. Mary doesn't openly voice her frustration, but inside, she's questioning her role in Kody's life. The gift he gave her, while thoughtful, didn't carry the emotional depth she had hoped for. In fact, it only served as a reminder that her place in his heart is no longer what it once was. Mary's quiet isolation deepens, and she begins to wonder if she will ever truly feel the way she once did about Kody. Her struggle is not just with Kody, but with herself. She has spent years trying to keep the peace within the family, to maintain the facade of harmony despite her inner turmoil. But Valentine's Day has left her feeling more alone than ever. She contemplates whether she's ready to confront the emotional distance between her and Kody, or if she will continue to bury her feelings for the sake of the family. Janelle's unspoken disappointment, the weight of responsibility. Janelle's experience with Valentine's Day was far from romantic, but it also wasn't catastrophic. She doesn't need grand gestures, but she does need to feel valued and seen. However, the aftermath of the day leaves her feeling like her needs were once again secondary. She carries a quiet disappointment, not because of the gift itself, but because of what it represents. Kody's love for her is genuine, but she often feels like she's the one who keeps the family running, the one who quietly supports everyone without expecting much in return. In the days after Valentine's Day, Janelle reflects on her role in the family. She is the steady force, the pragmatic wife who ensures that everything runs smoothly. But does Kody see her for who she truly is? The holiday, meant to celebrate love, has left her questioning whether her emotional contributions are truly valued.
She longs for more than just functional love. She wants to feel like a priority in Kody's life, even if only for one day. Despite her disappointment, Janelle isn't one to cause conflict. She quietly shoulders the weight of her feelings, unsure of how to address her needs without seeming demanding. But deep down, she wonders if she will always be the invisible wife, never the first one to receive affection or attention, always the one who keeps the family together without asking for much in return. Christine's heartache, the need for emotional validation. Christine, the third wife, enters the aftermath of Valentine's Day feeling emotionally drained. The lack of romance, the absence of a grand gesture, and the realization that Kody's attention was divided among his other wives leaves her feeling overlooked. Christine has always been vocal about her need for emotional validation, and this Valentine's Day reminded her that her relationship with Kody is far more complicated than she ever imagined. While Kody did give her a gift, it wasn't enough to erase the feelings of inadequacy that have been building over time. Valentine's Day was supposed to be a day for Kody to show her how much he cares, but instead she feels like just another wife in the rotation. For Christine, the aftermath of the day is filled with lingering heartache. She longs for Kody to prioritize her, to make her feel like she is more than just another person sharing his love with 3 other women. As the days pass, Christine grapples with the emotional distance between her and Kody. She wonders if he truly understands her desire for affection and romance. While she loves him deeply, she feels like she's always competing for his attention, never quite feeling like the special one. The aftermath of Valentine's Day only reinforces her belief that, no matter how much love they share, she will always be one of many. Robyn's struggle with insecurity, the new wife trying to find her place. Robyn, as the newest wife, faces a unique challenge in the aftermath of Valentine's Day. While Kody showered her with affection, the day only highlighted her insecurity. As the newest addition to the family, she is still trying to navigate her position among the other wives. Valentine's Day was a chance for her to feel special, but she also recognizes that the other wives have years of history with Kody that she cannot compete with. In the days after Valentine's Day, Robyn reflects on her own feelings of inadequacy. She is still finding her place in the family, and while she enjoys Kody's attention, she is keenly aware of the emotional complexities that come with being part of a plural marriage. The rivalry between the wives, the competition for Kody's love, and the constant balancing act of trying to fit in all make her wonder if she will ever feel like an equal member of the family. Robyn is aware of the delicate nature of her relationship with Kody, and while she appreciates the love he gives her, she wonders if there is space for her to fully carve out her own place in their family. Valentine's Day, which she had hoped would affirm her role, only leaves her feeling more uncertain about her place in the family structure. After the emotional fallout of Valentine's Day, the Brown family faces the challenging task of rebuilding their relationships. With each wife feeling a mixture of disappointment, neglect, and longing, Kody is forced to confront the reality that his attempts to balance love and affection between his 4 wives have not been successful. The cracks in the family's dynamic are now glaringly obvious, and the aftermath of Valentine's Day has left emotional wounds that will take time to heal. In this part of our special series, we dive into Kody's efforts to restore peace and harmony in his family. As the head of the household, he understands that it's his responsibility to guide the family through this turbulent emotional period. But healing won't be easy. The wounds caused by unmet expectations and feelings of rivalry are deep, and Kody must face the truth that, despite his best intentions, polygamy is a complicated system where love is always divided. As the wives begin to process their emotions, Kody makes a concerted effort to repair the damage done on Valentine's Day. He knows that simply offering a quick apology or a temporary gesture of affection won't suffice. It's going to take time, understanding, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about how his relationships with each wife have evolved. Mary's search for reconnection. Can she find her place again? For Mary, the process of rebuilding is a deeply personal journey. She has long struggled with feelings of emotional distance from Kody, and Valentine's Day only highlighted how far apart they've become. The quiet resentment she feels hasn't gone unnoticed by Kody, but how can he begin to fix something so deeply ingrained in their relationship? Kody knows that his first step in healing the rift with Mary is to acknowledge the emotional distance between them. It's not just about giving her a gift or offering kind words, it's about addressing the fundamental issue of their connection. He begins by initiating honest conversations with Mary, asking her how she's truly feeling and giving her the space to voice her frustrations. Mary, who has often kept her feelings hidden for the sake of family peace, slowly starts to open up about the loneliness she's felt in their marriage. While Kody listens and expresses his regret, Mary is still unsure if anything can truly change. She's been in this marriage for years, and the emotional distance has become a part of her reality. She's cautious about trusting that things will improve. Despite her doubts, Mary is willing to give Kody a chance to prove that he values her, but the road to reconnection will be long and filled with uncertainty. For Mary, the healing process requires more than just Kody's efforts. It requires her to confront her own feelings of abandonment and decide whether she can continue in a relationship where love is shared with 3 other women. Her journey is one of self-reflection, and while she's not ready to make any major decisions, she's beginning to ask herself if this is the life she truly wants. Janelle's quiet reconciliation, finding peace through understanding. Janelle, the pragmatic second wife, has always taken a more measured approach to her relationship with Kody, but even she cannot ignore the emotional impact of Valentine's Day. Her disappointment wasn't catastrophic, but the underlying feeling of being overlooked has stayed with her. In the days following the holiday, she reflects on her relationship with Kody and what she truly needs from him. Unlike Mary, who is struggling with deep emotional wounds, Janelle's reconciliation process is more about finding balance. She doesn't expect grand gestures or constant romantic attention, but she does need to feel seen and appreciated for the unique role she plays in the family. Kody recognizes this and makes efforts to show his gratitude for Janelle's contributions to their family, acknowledging the quiet strength she provides. Through quiet conversations and small acts of affection, Kody begins to restore Janelle's sense of importance. He listens to her concerns and reassures her that she is valued, not just as a wife, but as a partner in their shared life. Janelle, for her part, is receptive to these efforts. She's not one to hold grudges, and while her emotional needs are still present, she understands that healing takes time. The road to reconciliation for Janelle is one of steady, quiet progress. She feels heard and appreciated, but she also recognizes that Kody can never be everything she needs. She is learning to balance her love for him with her own personal expectations and desires. It's a delicate dance, but one she's willing to navigate for the sake of peace in the family. Christine's desire for more, a love still yearning to be prioritized. For Christine, the rebuilding process is more complicated. She's the wife who has always craved romance, affection, and emotional connection with Kody. Valentine's Day for her was a reminder of the emotional distance that still exists between them. The lack of a grand gesture from Kody left her feeling like she wasn't a priority, and the aftermath of the day has left her longing for more. Kody is aware of Christine's needs and acknowledges that he hasn't been able to fully meet them. He begins to make a more concerted effort to show Christine that she is important to him, not just as a wife, but as a woman he truly loves. But Christine's emotional wounds run deep. She's been patient for years, but her longing for a deeper connection with Kody hasn't dissipated. To rebuild their bond, Kody starts by giving Christine the attention she desires, setting aside time for one-on-one moments where they can reconnect emotionally. However, Christine's fears don't vanish overnight. She's been hurt before, and while she appreciates Kody's efforts, she struggles with the fear that this attention may not last. For Christine, the healing process will be slow, and there's no guarantee that she will ever feel fully secure in Kody's love. She yearns to feel like a priority, but the reality of their polygamous marriage continues to make that difficult. Still, Christine is willing to try, hoping that with time Kody can demonstrate his love for her in a way that truly meets her emotional needs. Robyn struggles with insecurity, balancing her role as the newest wife. Robyn, the youngest and newest wife, also faces challenges in the aftermath of Valentine's Day. While Kody's love for her is evident, she still feels insecure in her position within the family. Valentine's Day was a moment where Kody would make her feel special, but it only highlighted the emotional complexities that come with being the new wife. She's still learning how to navigate her position among the other wives, and Kody's attention, though sincere, is divided. As Kody works to rebuild his relationships with each wife, he also focuses on Robyn, trying to reassure her that she is just as important as the others. However, Robyn's insecurities persist. She worries that no matter how much Kody loves her, she will always feel like an outsider. Kody understands this fear, and does his best to reassure Robyn. He knows that her position.
As Valentine's Day becomes a distant memory, the Brown family begins to face the long-term consequences of the emotional challenges that arose from the holiday. The wives, while still processing their feelings, now have to adjust to a new reality, one where the wounds of rivalry, neglect, and unmet expectations are still fresh. For Kody, the task ahead is clear. He needs to find a way to move forward while ensuring that each wife feels loved, valued, and secure. But the road ahead is far from simple. In this part of our series, we explore how the Brown family adapts to a new normal in the aftermath of Valentine's Day. While the emotional scars of the holiday haven't completely healed, the family is beginning to find ways to navigate the complex emotions that polygamy brings. The key question remains: can the family truly overcome the pain of Valentine's Day, or will these unresolved issues continue to haunt them? Mary's journey of self-discovery, letting go of the past. For Mary, moving forward means facing the emotional baggage that has accumulated over the years. Her struggles with Kody's other wives, the emotional distance between them, and the feelings of neglect have shaped much of her experience in the family. Valentine's Day was a tipping point for her, forcing her to confront the reality that her relationship with Kody is no longer what it once was. Mary understands that for her, healing isn't just about Kody making amends, it's about her own journey of self-discovery. As much as she wants to feel loved and prioritized by Kody, she also has to acknowledge that her emotional needs may never be fully met in a polygamous marriage. She begins to explore what it means to find happiness outside of Kody's love, focusing more on her personal growth and well-being. Through therapy, personal reflection, and a renewed focus on herself, Mary starts to make peace with her position in the family. She knows that the love she shares with Kody is real, but it will never be the all-consuming romantic connection that she once hoped for. Slowly, Mary learns to let go of the expectations that have held her back and begins to carve out a life that doesn't revolve solely around her marriage to Kody. Janelle's quiet strength, creating her own balance. Janelle has always been the steady force in the Brown family, but the aftermath of Valentine's Day has left her questioning her emotional needs.
While Kody's attempts to acknowledge her role in the family have been appreciated, she still feels like she's often the one who sacrifices the most. Janelle's journey to healing isn't dramatic, but it's no less important. Janelle knows that the key to moving forward is finding a balance between her family responsibilities and her own emotional needs. She begins to have more open conversations with Kody about how she wants to feel valued, not just as a wife, but as an individual. Kody listens to her concerns and tries to make adjustments to ensure that Janelle feels appreciated for who she is, not just for what she does for the family. However, Janelle also begins to realize that her fulfillment cannot solely depend on Kody. She starts to pursue her own interests outside of the family, focusing on her health, hobbies, and friendships. She understands that as much as she loves Kody and the family, she has to create space for herself. Through this process, Janelle finds a new sense of peace. She doesn't expect perfection from Kody or the family, but she has learned that her happiness and fulfillment must come from within. Moving forward, Janelle is able to balance her role in the family with her need for personal growth, allowing her to heal and find her own sense of joy, regardless of the emotional complexities of polygamy. Christine's search for stability. Building confidence in her relationship. Christine's journey after Valentine's Day is one of emotional upheaval. She has always been the wife who seeks romance, affection, and validation from Kody, and the lack of a grand gesture on Valentine's Day only highlighted her deep-rooted insecurities. However, in the weeks that follow, Christine begins to confront these feelings head-on. Kody's efforts to reconnect with her are genuine, but Christine realizes that she must also take ownership of her own emotional well-being. She has spent years hoping for Kody to prioritize her, but the reality is, in a polygamous marriage, that level of attention may never come. Christine learns to embrace the love that Kody does give her, while also setting healthier emotional boundaries. Through therapy and self-reflection, Christine begins to rebuild her confidence. She focuses on strengthening her relationship with Kody, but she also works on improving her self-esteem and emotional resilience. She understands that her happiness cannot solely depend on Kody's affection. Instead, she starts to seek fulfillment within herself, growing more confident and secure in her place in the family. Christine's journey is one of transformation. She still desires a deeper connection with Kody, but she no longer expects him to be her sole source of emotional validation. As she gains confidence, she begins to see the value in the family as a whole, understanding that her relationship with Kody is just one part of a much larger, complex dynamic. She is ready to move forward, knowing that she is worthy of love and respect, regardless of how Kody divides his attention. Robyn's growing confidence, finding her voice. As the newest wife, Robyn faces the challenge of finding her place in the family. After Valentine's Day, she feels the weight of being the newest addition and the insecurities that come with it. While Kody's affection for her is evident, she often feels like an outsider trying to fit into a family where the bonds between the other wives are already deeply established. However, Robyn begins to realize that her value within the family isn't determined by how much attention Kody gives her or how she compares to the other wives. Through open conversations with Kody and the other wives, Robyn starts to feel more secure in her position. She begins to assert herself more, making her needs and desires known while respecting the dynamics of the family. Kody is receptive to Robyn's growing confidence, and he makes efforts to ensure she feels integrated and valued. But Robyn also learns to value herself. She focuses on building her own sense of identity outside of her marriage to Kody, pursuing personal goals and building relationships with the other wives that aren't defined by competition or rivalry. As Robyn gains more confidence, she begins to embrace her role in the family, understanding that her place is just as important as anyone else's. Moving forward, she finds peace in knowing that she has the power to shape her own experience within the family, and that her happiness isn't dependent on being the favorite or getting the most attention. As the Brown family continues to heal from the emotional turmoil of Valentine's Day, a new chapter begins to unfold. The wives are still adjusting to the complexities of polygamy, but with each passing day, they are learning to cope with their feelings of rivalry, jealousy, and longing. Kody, too, is adjusting, realizing that the road to healing is long and requires more than just occasional gestures of affection. It demands constant attention, communication, and empathy. In this part of the series, we explore how the Brown family adapts to a new normal in the aftermath of Valentine's Day. While the emotional scars of the holiday haven't completely healed, the family is beginning to find ways to navigate the complex emotions that polygamy brings. The key question remains, can the family truly overcome the pain of Valentine's Day, or will these unresolved issues continue to haunt them? Mary's path to emotional independence, forging her own way. For Mary, the most significant development is her increasing sense of emotional independence. After years of trying to hold on to a relationship with Kody that no longer served her needs, Mary has come to understand that healing doesn't just require reconciliation with Kody, it requires reconciling with herself. She no longer waits for Kody's affection to define her sense of worth. Instead, Mary is focusing on her own personal growth, pursuing interests and activities that bring her joy and fulfillment. Mary's journey toward independence isn't about abandoning Kody or the family, it's about finding balance. She begins to spend more time on self-care and personal projects, and she also builds a stronger support system outside of the family. Through therapy and a renewed focus on her own needs, Mary is slowly learning that her happiness doesn't have to be tied to Kody's attention. As she finds joy in her own life, the emotional weight of polygamy becomes easier to bear. Kody, for his part, acknowledges Mary's growth and gives her space to explore her own journey. He no longer feels the pressure to fix everything for her, but instead supports her as she takes charge of her own emotional well-being. While their relationship remains complex, the shift in Mary's perspective creates a new foundation for their marriage, where emotional independence and mutual respect take center stage. Janelle's strengthened boundaries, prioritizing her needs. Janelle's path toward healing has been steady, but as time passes, she finds herself creating stronger boundaries within her relationships, both with Kody and the other wives. Valentine's Day highlighted her role as the steady, pragmatic force in the family, and while she has always been willing to support everyone, she now realizes that she must also prioritize her own emotional needs. Kody's efforts to show appreciation for Janelle's contributions are met with a deeper understanding from her. She no longer simply accepts her love in whatever form it comes. Instead, Janelle begins to assert her needs more clearly, asking Kody for the kind of emotional validation she deserves. Whether it's through more meaningful conversations, quality time together, or a deeper connection, Janelle makes it known that her emotional fulfillment is just as important as the other wives' needs. As Janelle navigates these changes, Kody works to respect her boundaries, learning to offer love and affection in a way that resonates with her. Their relationship evolves into one where both partners can voice their needs and create a balanced dynamic. Janelle's emotional independence grows stronger, and she continues to find peace in her role within the family. She understands that her needs matter, and while Kody's affection may always be divided, she is finding ways to feel seen and valued. Christine's growing self-confidence, embracing her place in the family. Christine's journey is perhaps the most transformative. After Valentine's Day, she spent a lot of time reflecting on her emotional needs, recognizing that her desire for romantic validation could no longer depend solely on Kody. She had to learn to prioritize her own self-worth and confidence, realizing that she is deserving of love and affection, regardless of how Kody divides his attention. Kody has made genuine efforts to reconnect with Christine, offering her the romantic gesture she craves, but Christine also begins to focus on her own growth. She starts to embrace her role in the family with more confidence, no longer competing for Kody's affection, but instead finding contentment in her place within the family structure. She learns to appreciate the unique bond she shares with Kody, even if it doesn't fit the traditional mold of romantic love. Christine's growth is evident in how she interacts with the other wives as well. She is no longer consumed by jealousy or competition. Instead, she begins to embrace the family as a whole, understanding that each wife's relationship with Kody is different, and that's okay. Her ability to let go of the need for constant validation from Kody allows her to build a healthier, more peaceful relationship with him and with the family as a whole. Robyn's growing confidence, finding her voice and place. For Robyn, the youngest wife, the healing process has been less about emotional wounds and more about finding her place within the family. As the newest addition, Robyn has always felt like an outsider, trying to find her role without stepping on anyone else's toes. Valentine's Day brought these insecurities to the surface, but in the weeks that followed, Robyn started to embrace her position within the family more confidently. Kody continues to shower Robyn with affection, but she learns not to rely on him for her emotional security. Instead, she begins to nurture her own sense of self-worth and independence. Robyn starts to spend more time developing her own friendships within the family and beyond, cultivating her own identity outside of being Kody's wife. With each passing day, Robyn grows more secure in her place. She no longer feels the need to compete for Kody's affection or compare herself to the other wives. She finds peace in knowing that her love for Kody is just as real as anyone else's, and she embraces her position as the newest wife with grace and confidence.
After months of emotional turbulence and personal reflection, the Brown family begins to see a path forward. Valentine's Day exposed the cracks in their relationships, but it also served as a turning point, forcing each member of the family to confront their emotions, their needs, and their roles within the larger family dynamic. As they continue to heal, the focus shifts to strengthening the family bond and learning to thrive together despite the complexities of polygamy. In this part of our series, we explore the family's journey toward long-term stability, with each wife finding her own voice and Kody striving to be a better husband. The family begins to understand that love is a multifaceted experience. It's not about perfection, nor is it about trying to fulfill every need of every person. It's about creating a balance where each individual feels valued, seen, and respected. The journey is still ongoing, but they are closer to finding the harmony they so desperately seek. Mary's renewed sense of purpose, moving beyond the past. For Mary, the journey toward healing is a slow but steady process. After years of feeling emotionally sidelined in her marriage to Kody, she has begun to embrace a new sense of purpose. Her focus on personal growth, self-reflection, and emotional independence has given her the strength to look beyond the disappointments of the past. She is learning to value herself outside of her relationship with Kody, and in doing so, she has found a renewed sense of peace. Mary continues to nurture her relationship with Kody, but she no longer places the weight of her happiness solely on his shoulders. Instead, she has cultivated other areas of her life that bring her joy, whether that's through hobbies, friendships, or personal achievements. This new sense of independence has allowed Mary to approach her marriage with a greater sense of balance. She no longer feels that she must be Kody's priority, but rather that she is an equal partner in the family, deserving of love and respect, even if it's shared. As Mary moves forward, she realizes that love isn't just about grand romantic gestures. It's about mutual support and understanding. She feels empowered to set her own emotional boundaries and is working to ensure that she doesn't lose herself in the process of being a wife. With time, Mary is learning to be content in her own skin, and this newfound emotional freedom has allowed her to foster healthier relationships, both within the family and with herself. Janelle's commitment to personal growth, setting boundaries and seeking fulfillment. Janelle's growth has been steady, but it's also been one of the most profound. While she has always been the steady, pragmatic force in the family, Valentine's Day made her realize just how much of her identity had been shaped by the needs of others. For years, she has quietly shouldered the emotional burden of keeping everything running smoothly, without asking for much in return. Now, Janelle is learning to prioritize herself and her own emotional well-being. Through ongoing conversations with Kody, Janelle has learned to communicate her needs more openly. No longer content with being the logical one, Janelle has started to explore her own desires for connection and intimacy. She has also set firmer boundaries in her relationship with Kody, ensuring that her emotional needs are met in ways that feel authentic and meaningful to her. In her personal life, Janelle has started to pursue hobbies and passions that bring her joy, from physical fitness to exploring new career opportunities. This sense of fulfillment outside of her role as Kody's wife has given her a newfound sense of confidence. She no longer feels defined by her role in the family or the expectations placed upon her. Instead, she is embracing a more balanced life, one where her needs are just as important as the needs of the family. Janelle's growth has helped her build a stronger, more equal partnership with Kody. They are working together to find a balance where both of their needs are recognized, and Janelle is learning that true happiness comes from within. With time, she is building a life that is rooted in self-respect and mutual love. Christine's embrace of change, letting go of unrealistic expectations. Christine's emotional journey has been one of the most challenging, but also the most transformative. After years of yearning for romantic validation from Kody, she has finally come to understand that her needs cannot be met by him alone. She has learned to let go of unrealistic expectations and has started to embrace a more realistic view of love, one that includes not just affection from Kody, but also self-love and acceptance. Through therapy and ongoing conversations with Kody, Christine has learned to communicate her desires more clearly, not just for affection, but for emotional intimacy. She has come to terms with the reality of polygamy and has begun to embrace the unique love she shares with Kody, understanding that it doesn't have to look the same as the love in a monogamous relationship. Her bond with Kody is different, and that's okay. Christine has also focused on her personal growth. She has worked to build her self-esteem and to find fulfillment in her own life outside of her marriage to Kody. She spends more time with friends and family and has reconnected with her own passions. By focusing on her own happiness, Christine has created a more stable foundation for her relationship with Kody, one that no longer depends solely on his attention or affection. Through this process, Christine has learned to accept the love she receives, without comparing it to an idealized version of romance. She no longer feels the need to compete for Kody's affection, and in doing so, she has found peace. Christine is learning that love isn't about perfection, but about acceptance, both of herself and of the family dynamic. Robyn's path to self-acceptance, embracing her place in the family. As the newest wife, Robyn's journey has been one of finding her place within a family that was already established. After Valentine's Day, Robyn began to recognize the importance of feeling secure in her own identity, both as a wife and as an individual. She spent months navigating the insecurities that came with being the new wife, but over time, she has grown into her role. Robyn's relationship with Kody remains strong, but she has also worked to build stronger connections with the other wives. She recognizes that while polygamy is a complex and often challenging dynamic, it can also be a source of strength if the wives work together and support each other. Robyn has learned to embrace the family as a whole, rather than viewing herself in competition with the other wives. By focusing on her own personal development, Robyn has found a sense of inner peace. She continues to nurture her relationship with Kody, but she also finds fulfillment in her own pursuits, from spending time with her children to pursuing her own passions. As she grows more confident, Robyn is learning to balance her role as a wife with her need for personal independence. Kody, for his part, continues to offer Robyn the love and support she needs, but he also respects her need for space and personal growth. The family dynamic is becoming more balanced, and Robyn is learning that her happiness doesn't depend solely on Kody's affection. As the family adapts to their new normal, Robyn is finding her place, one where she is valued not just as Kody's wife, but as an individual with her own desires, needs, and dreams. As the Brown family progresses through the aftermath of Valentine's Day, the long road to healing appears to be paying off. With each wife finding her own voice, establishing boundaries, and embracing self-love, the family has begun to adapt to the complexities of polygamy with greater awareness. Kody, too, has evolved, learning to balance his relationships with each wife while navigating the challenges of a multi-partner marriage. However, despite the progress, a fundamental question remains. Can the family sustain the harmony they've worked so hard to create?
In this part of our series, we explore the family's ongoing efforts to maintain peace and unity while continuing to evolve as individuals. We'll examine the challenges they face as they try to live up to their new commitments to emotional balance, understanding, and mutual respect. The journey of polygamy, while not easy, is one they've chosen to navigate together. But can the family truly thrive in the long term, or will the underlying complexities of their relationships continue to create tension? Mary's acceptance, finding peace in her role. For Mary, the journey of healing has been the most challenging, as her emotional needs have often been overlooked in the past. While she has made significant strides toward self-discovery and independence, there are still moments when she questions her role within the family. Valentine's Day exposed the emotional distance she had been carrying for years, but through her personal growth and ongoing conversations with Kody, Mary has come to accept her place in the family. Mary no longer expects Kody to fulfill all of her emotional needs, and this shift has allowed her to cultivate peace within herself. She has learned to see herself as an integral part of the family, not just as Kody's first wife, but as a woman deserving of love and respect on her own terms. Her relationship with Kody remains unique, and while it may never be as close as it once was, she is learning to value what they have left without clinging to what's been lost. Mary's journey isn't about perfection, but acceptance. She's embraced the reality of their polygamous marriage, understanding that her happiness doesn't need to depend on Kody alone. By nurturing her personal well-being and finding joy in her own pursuits, Mary has found a sense of contentment that she once thought impossible. While the future of her relationship with Kody may still be uncertain, she's ready to move forward with confidence, knowing that she can find fulfillment no matter the circumstances. Janelle's continuing growth, balancing family and self. For Janelle, the journey toward balance is ongoing. Her emotional needs have always been secondary to the needs of the family, but she has worked tirelessly to ensure that she doesn't lose herself in the process of supporting others. As she continues to set stronger boundaries with Kody and nurture her own emotional well-being, Janelle finds herself at a crossroads. She no longer feels the need to sacrifice her happiness for the sake of the family, but she's still learning how to balance her personal desires with her commitment to Kody and the family. Janelle has made significant progress in prioritizing her own happiness, from physical fitness to exploring her own passions. However, the challenge now is to continue integrating these changes into her relationship with Kody. While he respects her needs and boundaries, Janelle knows that polygamy requires constant negotiation and adjustment. The family dynamic, while improved, is still a delicate balance. Janelle's role as a pragmatic wife hasn't changed, but she is learning to advocate for herself in ways she never has before. As she continues to grow, Janelle knows that finding happiness within the family will require ongoing effort. She remains committed to her relationship with Kody, but she also knows that her emotional well-being must come first. Christine's transformation, embracing the family's unique love. Christine's emotional journey has been marked by significant transformation. After years of feeling neglected and competing for Kody's attention, she has come to embrace the unique love that exists within their polygamous marriage. She's learned to stop comparing herself to the other wives, and instead focus on what makes her relationship with Kody special. While she still craves romance and emotional connection, Christine understands that her love for Kody is valid, even if it doesn't look the same as the love in a traditional marriage. Her bond with Kody is different, and that's okay. Christine has also focused on her personal growth. She has worked to build her self-esteem and to find fulfillment in her own life outside of her marriage to Kody. She spends more time with friends and family, and has reconnected with her own passions. By focusing on her own happiness, Christine has created a more stable foundation for her relationship with Kody, one that no longer depends solely on his attention or affection. Through this process, Christine has learned to accept the love she receives, without comparing it to an idealized version of romance. She no longer feels the need to compete for Kody's affection, and in doing so, she has found peace. Christine is learning that love isn't about perfection, but about acceptance, both of herself and of the family dynamic. Robyn's path to self-acceptance, embracing her place in the family. As the newest wife, Robyn's journey has been one of finding her place within a family that was already established. After Valentine's Day, Robyn began to recognize the importance of feeling secure in her own identity, both as a wife and as an individual. She spent months navigating the insecurities that came with being the new wife, but over time she has grown into her role. Robyn's relationship with Kody remains strong, but she has also worked to build stronger connections with the other wives. She recognizes that while polygamy is a complex and often challenging dynamic, it can also be a source of strength if the wives work together and support each other. Robyn has learned to embrace the family as a whole, rather than viewing herself in competition with the other wives. By focusing on her own personal development, Robyn has found a sense of inner peace. She continues to nurture her relationship with Kody, but she also finds fulfillment in her own pursuits, from spending time with her children to pursuing her own passions. As she grows more confident, Robyn is learning to balance her role as a wife with her need for personal independence. Kody, for his part, continues